Go. Hi, I'm BL Ochman, and I'm the co-host of the Beyond Social Media show. I'm here today with Audrey Hungerman, who is a strategic account manager of StatSocial.com, which is a Twitter analysis platform that's going to knock your socks off. So I'm going to have her do a live demo, and I'm going to first cover a little bit of the news of the week. As you know, Dave Erickson, my co-host, is not here today, but let me tell you where you can find us both online. Dave is at estrategyblog.com. On Twitter, he's at @DErickson. He is, of course, on Google+, and you'll find us both on BeyondSocialMediaShow.com blog, where after the show, we will have the video, which will be time-stamped, and the playlist of everything that we discussed today. I'm BL Ochman. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at whatsnext. My blog is whatsnext blog, and I am CEO of maximum-plus.com, which produces events and does coaching for all things Google+. And as you can hear in the background, I'm in New York City, and there are a lot of sirens going by. Okay, so it is our tradition to cover the best and the worst in digital communications in the past week, and I'm going to go through a couple really quickly. I want to give Audrey plenty of time to show you this absolutely remarkable platform that will really help you in your Twitter marketing. But I really just want to cover some of the worst things that happened, and you know, as you all know, I love dogs, and there are a couple of things that happened this week that just really ruffled my feathers. KLM has this ad about how their search dog is seen reuniting passengers and snuggling with children and getting friendly with the staff, and it goes and it finds people's items that were left behind, and it runs through the terminal, and it returns their iPhones, and it does all these wonderful things, and you just fall in love with it, except it's a fake. And so the Reddit user Morrison uncovered this disappointing information on a website that was in Dutch, and KLM said that the dog is purely used to symbolize the actual team that will search for owners and unite them with their lost possessions. No, that's just wrong. That's a fail. That's a big fail. The other one, which should have really ended up in the section of wonderful things, is the new Budweiser ad, which has a puppy back, and the ad shows a man named Luke, and it shows how he bonded with this adorable lab puppy beginning on the day that he brought it home, and he tells it, you know, this is your home, and the puppy is so cute, and then you see them through the years, and they're running, and they're playing, and they're having a wonderful time, and then the dog is all grown up, and he is laying in the living room, and Luke says he's going out, and you see him getting in a car with his friends, and then you see the dog, and the dog is there all by itself, and it's there all by itself, and it's there all by itself, and Luke doesn't come back, and then you hear the dog kind of whimper, and finally the key in the door, and Luke comes back, and he says, you know, I was out with my friends last night, and we were drinking, and I didn't think I should drive, so I stayed at Bob's house, but here I am. And, you know, it's a great message, and I love it, but it was obviously done by somebody, a team that doesn't own dogs, because if you own a dog, you get somebody to go and feed your dog if you're not coming home, and take it for a walk. So, lovely idea, badly done. And the other thing that that I saw this week that I thought was really fun, and this is a good news one, is the way that brands reacted to Bendgate. You know how the iPhone 6 bends in your pocket, and so it gave some other brands the chance to tweet, like HTC USA, which said that their phone, on Twitter, they said their phone is designed to withstand the most demanding environments, like your pocket. And KitKat said, ours doesn't bend, it breaks. And LG USA Mobile said our phone doesn't bend, it flexes on purpose, and apparently it's designed to do that. And then my favorite one was the Will It Bend, which was from Nokia in Deutschland, and, you know, after the Will It Blend. And I do wonder how it's going to blend in. I'm sure we're going to see that sometime soon. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Audrey, who's going to share her screen with you and give you an actual demonstration of how StatSocial works. And so that you know, StatSocial will do Twitter analytics to help you target and analyze what your followers do on Twitter. And I had a report from them, an absolutely remarkable report that shows it follows your Twitter followers or anybody's Twitter followers on 60 points through the internet. So it shows you what has their attention. It shows you what they read, what they watch on TV, how old they are, where they live. A little bit on the scary side, how much data there is. But when it comes to marketing and advertising, this is an absolutely incredible platform. And at the end of the demonstration, Audrey has a special offer for those of you who are watching. So let me introduce you to Audrey Hungerman. And Audrey, go ahead and share your screen, and then I will let you take over from there. So, okay, here we go. This is StatSocial. Oh, my report. Go ahead, Audrey.
All right, thanks, BL. Like BL said, we're StatSocial. We're a Twitter analytics platform, but what makes us unique is that we go outside of Twitter. So Twitter is just the starting point. You can analyze your followers, you can analyze a hashtag, a link, keyword search, but we take your Twitter handle and we crawl 60+ social and public sites outside of Twitter to find out your interest or demographic information. So what we're going to go through today is BL's report, which is at What's Next, and we're going to see all of the information that StatSocial can put around the context of your followers. So this is analyzing everyone that follows at What's Next. So we crawl 100% of the Twitter handles that's following at What's Next, and we have a growing database of 50 million user profiles that we have matched as an actual individual. So we found a public Facebook, a public LinkedIn, something outside of Twitter that tells us that this is a real person, a real consumer. So right here you can see she has just over 10,000 followers. Out of those followers, our report is based on those identified consumers. So we weed out spam, we don't crawl people that have private Twitter accounts, and so that's left with this 100%. So 86% are identified consumers, and the other 14% are business accounts. And those aren't included in the report just because they would skew metrics. They're not actual consumers that are going to buy your product or service. Then we have a metric up here called followers per follower. So on average, at What's Next, followers have 2.2 thousand followers of their own. This directly correlates with our influence metric that we call Twitter pool. So Twitter pool takes into consideration your second-degree connection, so your followers' followers. And so at What's Next has a Twitter pool of 188, stronger than the average Twitter handle. Okay. So then we're going to go in.
Audrey, does that mean that my followers I have 188 times as much reach as the 10,000?
No. We compare to that, what we call the average Twitter account. So the average Twitter account has about 300 followers. And so if you have 300 followers and those followers have about 300 of their own, that's what we're comparing your 10,000, your handle to.
Okay.
So we offer kind of two sets of data points, the demographic and the lifestyle section. So these 4 points up here are the demographic information. We do a gender breakdown, so 62% of people that follow at What's Next are female. But what makes StatSocial unique is that we compare it to the Twitter average. So we display the Twitter average, which is based on our database of 50 million profiles. So 52% Twitter audience is female. Because at What's Next has 62%, we say that they're 1.18 more likely to be female than the average Twitter audience. And that really just puts your data in context. Great, my audience is from California or they're 18 to 24, but what does that actually mean? So then again, we break it down to age. Some platforms offer this, some don't, but because we're validating you outside of Twitter, we have a higher accuracy rate, a higher match rate to actually find out whether you post your birthday on Facebook or your graduation date on LinkedIn. So you can see at What's Next, they over-index in over 54. 22% are over 54, and that's 1.62 times the Twitter average. We also break it down into male and female segments if you wanted to look at age by gender. We do that as well. Okay. Look at geolocation. So on the front end, we display the top 5 cities, states, countries, and Nielsen DMAs. But we pull from tens of thousands of cities, states, countries, which is available if you export our reports. So you can see the top 5 cities are LA, New York, Chicago, Boston, and DC. Some of our clients use this to track their growth. I know Facebook offers detailed insights on where your followers are. So if you're tracking your company's handle and the growth of your followers, you can see exactly, maybe you had a huge increase in followers from the DC area because you just had an event. Or your CEO spoke somewhere, that's going to get a huge increase in followers wherever that event was, and so on and so forth. We also display income and education. Income is based off of personal income, not household income. So you can see 31.53% make over $100,000, which is 2.9 times the Twitter average. This makes sense. If you looked, it was an older audience. 22% were over 54. And then for education, we rank it by where you went to school. So you might say that you went to NYU on your Facebook or your LinkedIn, and we classify them into tiers. So tier 1, the rankings are down here. Tier 1 would kind of be a Harvard and Oxford, Yale. Second tier would be NYU or Duke. You can just see how educated your audience is. And then we have an engagement rate. So we display your average tweets per day. So on average, this audience tweets 1.68 times per day. And then we also display most recent tweets. You can see how active your audience is. And this is just based on the timestamps of your tweets. We store our users' last 3,000 tweets, and that's how we can calculate this metric.
And then the multiple is how much more that is than the average, right?
Right, correct. And this is where our data gets fun. This is our lifestyle metrics. So we have interest categories, and these are based off of the IAB taxonomy. So there's 24 high-level categories: the arts and entertainment, automotive, business. But then you can really drill down. So 99% of At What's Next's audience is interested in business. Makes sense. You can see they're 3.49 times more likely to be interested in business than the average Twitter audience. But then we also give you top 3 subcategories. So the top 3 interests within business are marketing, advertising, and business software. But if you want to know what else in business that they might be interested in, or the other sub-level categories, you can drill down and see exactly all of the categories in business that they might like. And what you can do is we can rank them by either the percentage, so that's where we get our top 3, or you can rank them by the multiples. This is how likely they are. So what are they most likely to like? Advertising. And then, so there are about 350 subcategories. We make it easy to digest all of this by creating a top 100. So marketing, email technology, college life is up there, entertainment technology. Okay. And a lot of our clients will use this for content creation. So say you analyze your brand's handle and you're targeting moms, and it kind of shows up they're interested in maybe homeschooling and K-6 education, but what you might not know is that they're interested in traveling with their kids. That's one of our subcategories. So there's a whole content series about the easiest ways to travel with your kids or the best places to take your kids.
This is pretty remarkable information for content providers, because when you want to know where the attention of your audience is so that you can engage with them on those topics, this is the place to find that out, and in such detail. I mean, I was in this report yesterday for hours, drilling down to all the levels, because it goes into such detail. What happens when they click on, for example, under automotive, if they started to click on Ford or on Toyota, what would that show?
So this is our brand category. We have about 8,200 brands in our database that we pull from. Again, they're organized in high-level categories, and you can drill down right to the actual brand that they like. So they're not just interested in marketing or advertising. We can show you what marketing and advertising publications that they read or websites that they visit. So let's look at media. This is a good one for marketers. We can see the top 3 media brands are Ad Age, Fast Company, and Harvard Business Review right off the bat. But we can drill down into media, and these are subcategories. So you can see what books, what media conglomerates, what magazines, movies, newspapers, everything like that. Again, top 3 is on the right. So you can drill right down to magazines, look at business magazines, and here's your target audience. So this is really great. Like, you don't even have to guess what publications your audience reads. You know exactly where they are, what they're purchasing, what they're reading. You can place your ads, your company right into those publications.
Or your articles.
Exactly.
I find that to be absolutely incredibly valuable as a resource, and have not seen that anywhere else.
Right, and it's not just, you know, the hard publications. We pull all websites as well. So looking at well-known blogs that your audience might read, or for native advertising, where are you going to place those ads? Where are you going to sponsor content? And then we also have celebrities. We have about 22,000 celebrities in our database. Again, we group them into high-level categories, and again, we provide the top 100. So we can see Chris Brogan is the #1 celebrity for this audience. You can also drill down into the categories, you know, see what chefs they like, see what business people that they like. This is really helpful for identifying influencers. And what you do would be maybe a well-known celebrity comes up because they have a high value, but what you want to do is rank by the multiple, so you can see what your audience is most likely to like or follow. You know, we have bloggers in here, we have journalists in here, so this is really helpful for identifying those people that you might want to reach out to for your next influencer campaign that you might not even realize. Some New York food bloggers came up in one of our clients' report. Those are the people you want to talk to. Those are maybe you want to track sponsorships for your celebrity. So LeBron James is the spokesperson for Gatorade. You can see exactly his affinity for his followers' affinity for Gatorade, or vice versa, Gatorade's followers' affinity for LeBron James. You can track the growth of that affinity for LeBron James over the course of his time at Gatorade, or campaigns that they're producing during NBA season.
So you can go, in other words, and analyze LeBron James's Twitter stream to see what his followers are doing, right?
Yes, you can analyze his handle. So what's nice about StatSocial is you don't need any passwords or anything like that to analyze anyone's Twitter handle. You don't need to validate that it's your own. You can just put in any Twitter handle that you want to see and analyze their followers, which is great for competitive analysis. So your Gatorade, you want to see what Powerade's audience looks like and what they're competing with.
And Audrey, you also track what other social networks the followers are involved in, right?
Right. We can see, so if we found kind of under websites, you can see exactly what social networks they're also most likely to like or follow or anything like that.
So can we see what other social networks they're on? Those will come up under websites.
Yeah, so you go to websites. Let's go down here to social media. So the top 3 are Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We look exactly into social media websites. We can see where they are. And it's usually Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Vine are the top that come up. So it's really interesting that LinkedIn is one of the top 3. That makes sense as it's kind of a more professional crowd, older, more affluent. It makes sense that LinkedIn is the top one. We have one client that had Pinterest, not only as a top social site, but a top website, which almost never happens. So that brand needs to focus on building up their Pinterest community.
You'll notice that a lot of my followers are interested in Google+, and I think that that is significant, but I wonder what Friendster's doing there. Isn't it dead?
Okay, and then lastly, we have TV shows. So we group our TV shows by network. So we have about 1,100 TV shows that we measure affinity for. So again, we can rank them by network and see CNN is the top network. We have a top 100 again, CNN News, Mad Men is number 2, The Today Show, Oprah Winfrey Show. Again, this is where, so your followers like the Today Show. You book appearances for Today Show. You place advertisements during Today Show time frame on NBC.
And you can drill down in here as well and see additional information, which I just really got lost in here because it's such a measurement of pop culture and of what people really are doing. So
right.
I think that this has enormous value for any marketer, and obviously if you're doing any type of advertising on Twitter, or if you are looking to, as Audrey said, at sponsored posts and at where you might want to place your publicity or any of the engagement that you need to have, this is the tool that will let you, rather than guessing, and nobody's analytics provide this in this depth. So Audrey, maybe if you're done with the report, you want to come back in? Or is there more to show?
No, that's really it for the report.
So what we should talk about is what this costs and what is available to the people who are watching.
Right, so our enterprise packages are based on volume size. So you have 10,000 followers for whatsnext, that's 10,000 followers deducted from your audience allowance. We do it by year, so you can start with 10 million, I think, and then that's about 3,000 a month for a year contract. And then it goes up there, obviously flexible if you don't need 10 million or you need more than our highest package. We'll price accordingly. But and
what
then
about for smaller companies? What sort of packages are available for them?
They'll have to be custom packages, but we're flexible to work with your needs. Obviously, if you're a smaller company and you don't need 10 million audience members for the year, we're definitely flexible. Mm-hmm.
And I understand there's a special offer right now.
Yeah, so for everyone on this webinar, so if you go to StatSocial.com, you can sign up for a free trial account. There are usually 5,000 audience members, but if you sign up today, we will increase it to 10,000 audience members for you guys.
So that means that you can analyze, if you have 10,000 followers, you can analyze your following of up to 10,000, and or of someone else's up to 10,000, and get a report that will give you the kind of detail that Audrey just went through with my report, which just really, really is unbelievably helpful to have that level of data. So so again, if you go to StatSocial.com today, you can sign up for, and what do they have to say? Do they have to use a code or something? Or
no, we can track who signed up today. And
of course you can. so they go today and sign up, and rather than a free account with up to 5,000 followers, you can track up to 10,000 followers. And also, what did you say about advertising?
Yeah, so we are launching a new product offering. We're in testing right now for Twitter targeting. Everyone knows Facebook targeting is fabulous and everyone loves it because they're known for their targeting. And that's something that Twitter hasn't really figured out yet. And so with our data, because we have identified consumers in our database, we can build an audience that you want to target. So say you want to target males 18 to 34 who like Coca-Cola and read Bleacher Report. We can build that audience for you that you can upload right in the Twitter platform. So because we're still in testing stages, we are offering one free audience to everyone on this webinar. And if you email me at Audrey@StatSocial, we will be in touch, and that way I can learn more about your campaign and we can build out a list for you.
I think that's a pretty terrific offer, actually. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And later today, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Later today, the video will be timestamped so that you can go to specific areas that were discussed here. And the playlist for the stuff I talked about was here. And you will find that at BeyondSocialMediaShow.com and on the YouTube video. And next week, Dave will be back. And so I'm BL Ochman. You will find me online at whatsnext. I am CEO of Maximum-Plus.com for all things Google+. Oh, and you will also find me, of course, on Google+. And I do need to tell you where to find Dave. He's D. Erickson on Twitter. He's eStrategyBlog.com. Of course, he's on Google+. And I have an event coming up that I think will interest you. On October 22nd, I am leading a webinar that will be done in a Google Hangout for Communications Week and the Public Relations Society of America's New York chapter. And my guests in the Hangout, which is about how businesses can use Hangouts, are John Yembrick, who's the social media director of NASA, and Soma Patel, who is the social media editor of the New York Times, and Ronnie Binzer, the Hangout helper, who can tell you anything you need to know about Hangouts, and Nathan Edelsberg, who's SVP of Muckrack. And so that's October 22nd. It's a free event. It's online in a Hangout on air. And I will post the link in the show notes and on the page. And I think you're going to want to hear how NASA uses Hangouts from space and how the New York Times uses them to engage with readers. And again, thank you so much, Audrey, for joining today. And everybody, I hope you really learned a lot. Thank you.